Welcome to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast, where world-changing spiritual entrepreneurs come to deeply awaken the power within to bring forth their greatest purpose, to create massive awakened impact for millions of souls around the planet, while enjoying being in tune with all life and real wealth in all aspects of their lives. I'm your host, Daniel John Hanneman. All right, I'm so glad to be here. We're here, Spiritual Rockstar Radio. It's Daniel John Hanneman, the Blockbuster, and I've got an amazing guest today, Julia Stege, a great friend of mine, someone I've known for years. Yes, hello. And I have incredible things to share with you about her. Julia is someone I really respect and admire for her work, her energy, and her commitment to the change that's happening. A true spiritual rock star here. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and tell you about her first. So Julia Stege helps those out-of-the-box entrepreneurs think, God, we need out-of-the-box. Out-of-the-box entrepreneurs and change makers to clarify, express their purpose through marketing that attracts their perfect customers. She calls them her soul tribe. And from across the globe. Her magical realm of talent is channeling authentic brands and creating inspired, beautiful, amazing websites, by the way, inspired websites for clients who are serious about attracting divinely aligned clients online as they are about changing the world. Wow, we need to talk more. Okay, since 1997, hundreds of clients united in their desire to show up authentically in their marketing have worked with Julia to showcase what makes them special and distinct online. Their wildly attractive websites, TM, serve as magnets to attract leads, clients, difference-making opportunities from around the world. Yes. Okay, all right. So Julia, so glad to have you here today.
There's always got to be a little wand action with that.
Okay. Wand action on that. Yes. And I'm so grateful that you're doing okay. This is a period going on with some couple of wildfires out there.
Yeah, California was burning. Oh, scary.
God. So we're talking about that pre-show. Glad you're doing okay, hanging in there.
Thank you.
You have not been directly impacted, but energetically, of course, it's an impact. But we talked about, like, this is a time of awakening, big time right now, and that people like yourself and others have been sensing these big shifts happening on the planet for a long time, whether we presence it as the climate change, we presence it as a political circus, or whatever it may be. But all these changes, everything's been kind of crazy for a lot of people anyway, in terms of what the energy and the actual real effects that are happening in people's lives. So it's getting serious. So the world changers out there, the people listening to the show, need to quit messing around, get an amazing marketing and magic and much more that you actually provide. And I think that's part of where I want to dive in. Like, you help people with marketing websites, but honest to God, you help people with much more than that. And
I feel like it's no more business as usual. When you're forced out of your home at 4 a.m, it becomes personal. Like climate change becomes personal. Last time we had fires 2 years ago that scorched, all this huge amount of land and 5,000 buildings where people lost their homes. It was terrible. It was scary. It was closer that time. But this time they were, more like, let's evacuate everyone in the area. So they evacuated like 1 million people. And it just was like a collective freak out, while everyone was trying to remain calm and be polite. It was crazy. And for me personally, I was just thinking afterwards, it's no business as usual. What am I going to do when my people are suffering? I give them a marketing tip, and is it going to be a blueprint? Because, sure, I enjoy those kinds of things too. I probably have some blueprint type. It could be considered a blueprint, maybe, kind of rebelliously. Yeah.
A rebellious blueprint.
It's some steps that I have, right, that people can go through if they don't want to
It
do it
helps
too
them.
bad.
I'm just going to interject for it's not that you're just being a rebel for rebel's sakes, even though it's fun, but it's like it's because the idea that marketing has to be a certain way, right? It seems to be, oh, you have to do this, you have to be like this or like
You
that.
got to do all these. Doesn't matter what you're, feeling in your heart, first of all. And that, to me, if it doesn't start there, let's say it starts here. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh, I've got this idea. Like, I'm going to a workshop and there's all these ideas flying around, right? You could do a podcast, right? But like, there's a million of those ideas, though. You could be doing videos on YouTube. You should be doing Facebook Lives. You should probably be doing webinars for sure, right? You ought to be growing your list. You ought to be doing like you should be blogging.
Better write a book.
If you could be showing up at every live event in the world, you should be doing that. And, after a while, you want to do nothing or... and plus then you're there and you hear what they tell you to do. Now, this has happened to me personally, and you may say it's happened to you, or maybe you're lucky and you never had this, but I've been told I should lie. Okay, so like it comes down to you should lie to people.
Yeah.
You should exaggerate, which is sort of a lie. It's just an exaggeration, though. Just a little exaggeration. Never killed anyone, right? And maybe even some brainwashing techniques. How about that I happen to know that if I make this button this color, you're going to more unconsciously opt in than you would have if I had made it another color, where you would have had to stop and think about it for a minute if you wanted to opt in. That kind of thing, okay? So they're not usually willing to tell you about that at most of the things you go to, but you and I have been at those meetings where that was exactly discussed, okay? And I know that everyone sharing that kind of information is doing so from a place of trying to help. But when your message is how to gain an unfair advantage over your prospects, I'm wondering, what? Why do I want, okay, let's just strip this whole thing clean and say, how can I best serve my tribe? Like, I'm going to start from nothing now, because nothing is working, actually. And in the positive sense, oh, this just came through. In the positive sense, nothing is working. That is, if you can get to just nothing, okay? You're not marketing because you're desperate for a client, for sure, okay? You're not marketing because you feel like you ought to have to, or it's some kind of obligatory thing. You're not marketing because your coach told you to, and you're paying your coach to tell you to do these things, whether you like it or not, right? But you're marketing because you have a service to provide your people, and they're suffering right now. They just frankly are. They're having a hard time, whether they're telling us now, because we're, whether they're telling you or not. It's a hard road right now for everyone. So, what I come down to is nothing, what is wanting to be shared. No tricks, maybe no offer. It doesn't have to always be an offer necessarily to have a desired result. And in fact, maybe if we did things more often without needing to get a result right now, we would be building a much more, it wants to tell me profitable. I don't know why that word wants to come through, but a more profitable platform.
Very interesting. So let me dive in here then. This is great. I got things I can say, yeah, I totally get that, totally with you there. And then things we can can stir up the energy to have some enlightened conversation around. So okay, totally. Yeah, this is a huge hot button for me too, because I've been in the camp of like, oh, it's okay to exaggerate. Okay, it's okay to do those things. So I've been in that camp. You have been too, I'm sure. So we've all been there at some point. Been at that computer. Oh, let's just go this way, right? It happens. But there are some people have actually taken to an extreme. What they say, Seth Godin is like the one that's really big on like we're all liars and marketing and all this stuff, and then we have actually so other people, I don't want to name their names, I probably should, but like other people who I actually love, people I personally love that are doing the same thing. They say Seth Godin says lie, I believe in that too, let's all lie, and then they're having these $1 million, multi-million-dollar launches maybe or whatever.
Yeah.
7-figure launches.
Right.
It seems like, and everybody's praising them. All their clients seem to love them. It all seems to be working. So on one level, I totally agree.
Then they have to go through a divorce.
Divorce?
I'm just saying, sickness, marriage problems, team problems, like, okay, just by the way.
Yeah, exactly. In other words, they might have this incredible business, but we don't know how they really feel or what the effects of their lives are, and even their bank account.
Because they share with us and tell us they've got adrenal fatigue. They had to take off a year from work because they had cancer, or had to go through a divorce, or both.
Right.
At the same time.
Exactly. So those are the consequences, like on individual people's lives. But what really lights me up, and one of the big missions of this show too, is what you talked about, this unconsciousness of with everything, including marketing. But look, it creates the result. It's like my stupidity. Like I went on roller coaster rides this summer. I end up with horrible back problem. I've always had some back issues. I'm on roller coaster. I'm nuts. Okay, I'm asking for trouble. And then I'm like, oh, summer long, can't sleep. I can't. I only have millions of pain pills for a while. And I'm much better now, but almost.
Oh, thank you for warning me. I'll never get on one of those things.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. I mean, it's like the ego is like, whoa, this is amazing. This is so great. I'm so transcendent and everything. Nothing can touch me. And until it does. And then it takes you out of your bubble. Like, wow, like it opens your compassion when you start having that suffering. I think that's part of this thing is like the gift of more people maybe suffering in some ways right now is awakens people to more their heart and their compassion. That gives it opportunity. And that's where we have a chance to really shift in a new consciousness with marketing too, because I know it's like, I mean, you would think like, some people just say you're just being stupid, Julia. Like, just put the damn orange button on there. just forget all that nonsense about, well, is it from your heart? And just be effective. You're gonna be broke, right? That's what they all say. The real motivational guys say, do it or you'll be broke. You'll have nothing. And that's how. But here's the thing: the fuel.
That's the fear part.
Business. Yeah, Julia, the fuel they're using to fuel the business. You know what it is. It all has to do with I matter, and I'll show you how big and bad I am. And it's those kinds of fuels. And it has nothing to do with the depths of coming from their heart and sharing from that place, which in my opinion actually sells better than anything anyway. If you want to look at effectiveness, that sells better than everything anyway. Not what you put, not the tactics and all the tricks. So yeah.
And your people are too smart for that. And
Yeah. So what you're saying is you're not about that. That's why I'm saying like, yes. So what, for people that also feel that way, like, I don't want to do any of that crap. So they almost want to give up already, right? Forget it. Oh my God, all this selling and bullshit. So what approach do you recommend for people when they're creating their websites, et cetera? Like, how do you help these people want to be more like authentic in their heart, be real? How do you do that?
Well, I try to distract them out of their strategic mind a little.
Yeah.
And go into answering the question, what's most important to you? So that's the conversation I want to have with all of my people. Sales conversations, conversation with you, conversations with potential client, conversations with clients from the place of what's most important to me, to say, who am I born to serve? I think it's the best idea to start there. Even though I'm saying bring this from within you, your perfect person is within you. It's you, sort of. It's inside of you. You know who they are. You know who you love to serve. It uplifts you. Actually, you get almost more from it.
Yeah.
My clients heal me all the time. It's like I go in to do, and they heal me, and then they've got copy. It's amazing. I'm blessed with that for sure. And so you're asked, and I have some tools that I'll share on that are useful for this. But the simplest thing to do is to try to get to nothing. Now, if you're already a practiced meditator and you know how to eliminate all thoughts, even for just a few moments, or if you know how to focus in on just the feeling or the breath, and you don't really have thoughts, that means you're not thinking of the strategies you've learned or talked about, or somebody told you to do. Nothing, you're nothing, and you're not worried about anything either. No past, no future. Now is the only thing. And then answering what is wanting to come out now to help my people. And then how shall I help my people? I usually write letters, and then I'll say, oh, maybe I could turn that into, some other repurposed content. But mostly I write letters to my people. That's how I see it all. So whether it's a blog post or a post on a social media or an actual letter to my list, I want to write to them. And that can be your marketing. So you could be doing videos, you could be doing podcasts, you could be doing Facebook Lives, you could be doing webinars, you could be writing letters, you could be writing articles, posts, you could be sending out things to people. And just only what's important. So what do you do then when you've got to launch? So I would say that the launch ought to reflect what's most important to you. And maybe don't launch until you've got a real spark of, because, have you ever tried to do a launch again, but you didn't really have, like the first time there was the spark, right? You had the whole thing. Right. And then you're going to try to do it again because you hear that you leverage what works, right?
Yeah.
But you're not really in that spark place, and it can work in a smaller way. It kind of works with that residual spark from before. But what I just discovered is, like, I can't just, it's no business as usual. I keep saying it, but I just can't roll right on back on in to my not fire scorched home and just start acting like everything is normal now. Mm-hmm. And knowing that this isn't just happening to me, this is happening all over the place. They're still happening to people that were in Katrina. How long ago was that? I think it was 5 or 6 years. I don't even know how long ago that was.
It's been a while, yeah.
And those people, like, were completely abandoned. And so we already had the environmental evacuees already. It's just going to get increased. What can we do today using these tools? I mean, maybe just don't even call it marketing. What can we do today using these tools to help people? I always say, of course, it's a good idea to have some contact information in there, generally on social media, or if it's on your website, there's a link or, to a contact form. Though I was analyzing a site today where there's no way to contact this person at all. And I'm thinking, oh, well, now you're wondering why your website doesn't work. But so make sure that there's a way to contact you with everything that you're sending out. Some of them it's automated, like Facebook. you know, they just click on your name and they go back out to your thing. But it doesn't have to be a heavy pitch every time. It doesn't have to be about selling anything. My most successful posts or articles, I posted them on my blog and then got comments, you know, like a lot of the time it's crickets. You just do it anyway because people can come to your site and they're not always commenting, you know, they can read it without commenting. But these ones where I was really writing from the heart, one was where I was writing about my father. My father passes away with his books still in him. I tried to help him, but to be honest, he's passed. I can say this in public. I didn't like his writing, okay? I was going to help him edit it, and I thought, he's not open to me editing this. This is crazy. I'm trying to, you know, say, Dad, Jack Kerouac happened since you started writing this book. Like, get in with it's, you know, modern, a little more modern style of writing. But it was really sad to me that he struggled in the last years to try to write these books without the same acuity of mind that he had even when he was 70, you know, much less when he was 90. Much less 60, okay, which is where I'm knocking on the door of right now. So when I've got a book. It's been, I started writing it when I was 35. So we're talking 25 years, you know, diddling around, playing around. Sometimes years go by, I haven't written anything, or I'll go back and revise it. And I'm doing the same thing. And I think this is the lesson from my father's death. Don't let me do this. I'm not going to let you do this. And people were responding across the board. Now, did I sell something? No. Then the fires happen. And I say, well, here's my Zen retreat fire evacuation, because I was doing whatever I could. It was actually easier when I was on evacuation to be Zen than when I came home, I discovered. So there's definitely some PTSD thing, but it's like, can we enjoy what is no matter what? And can you kind of enjoy, you know, your business is the implication, or enjoy marketing better is the implication, but it's not a direct demand. And then I get all these, I barely even make a request. I'd say something like, what are you not, you know, what are you going to be like saying yes to no matter what? You know, what are you saying yes to, even though it's like, because the thing is, Eckhart Tolle was saying, yes, you know, I mean, when I'm watching my house burning and say yes to that because it's happening now, yes, he says. Yes, you say, oh, there it is. Of course, you're going to have a response. There it is. My house is burning. Yes, this is what's happening now. Because anything other than that is, you know, anything less than that, let's say, of course, you could be overjoyed. Oh my God, I'm so happy my house is burning. I guess you could be up there. But you could also be in, this is wrong and I'm going to resist this and this is the worst thing that could ever happen. And then how is that going to make it better? And how is resisting your marketing? I mean, I don't mean to debase it, right? The fire of the house, the marketing, but really it has a similar effect because you're hiding out, you're not sharing your thing, you have a million excuses for why your website isn't up yet. And, you know, it's taking years to do it. This happens so often, right? And or here, you know, with me, I have my website up, thank heavens, since 1997. Oh, thank heavens, you know, I have a team, but I have a program that I haven't been launching in years and years. My dogs are probably going to bark, and he said, "Oh no, they're kind of calm, even though the mailman just arrived." So I'm just, you know, looking at ways to take what's happening, to not just close my eyes again and say, let's just barrel forward.
Business as usual, right? Just go back to business as usual. Well, there's
Gotta
a
be
fire.
successful. I mean, what you were describing before about it's okay, like, let's lie a little bit because we'll make $1 million. I remember one time, like early on, I was quite nervous about what I was saying to people. I was like, you're going to share your authentic self. And I remember one day, because I would just channel these classes that I did. I didn't even have slides at the beginning. And I said, hey, I can't promise that you're going to make more money being authentic than if you lied and cheated everyone. Let's just be real right now. Because it seems to me that liars make a lot of money. Now, this is like 13 years ago. Now we have a situation where, because of the biggest leader in the land is a notorious liar, lying is becoming like a normal thing. And it was always a part of market. I mean, like, it was always a part of advertising from when we understood that they were using subliminal advertising. Well, that came out in like the 70s, that they were subliminally brainwashing us through advertising. We kind of know that, but it affects us anyway.
Whatever, all kinds of things. Yeah.
Right? I mean, there's all sorts of ways that they can manipulate.
Well, things have definitely, things. I mean, again, what I talk about is the shadow is in our face. Things we've suppressed within ourselves are showing up, and so you see it in all different kind of ways. Like you say, well, Trump, the proven liar, and the pathological liar, and then we got other people saying it's okay to lie. So, well, I guess what I'm getting to is, I think that I have seen people that, look, I mean, the most influential change makers in the world that we've ever witnessed are people like Mother Teresa, like people that we know, that we celebrate. Let me put it that way. Like Mother Teresa, Gandhi, Jesus, or people like this. Like, we know, like there were.
I would challenge you and not put Mother Teresa on that list.
Ass-kicking truth tellers, right? They're in their heart ass-kicking truth tellers. They were going around telling a lot of lies, as far as I know, those people. But I mean, they were willing to bring it. And I think what you're talking about is really cool too. That I think relates to those type of people is, you're relating. You're talking about with marketing. You're saying you're relating your human experience with people and creating a connection with them. And just because that just, I mean, and then. Because what people are buying is, as we always say, right? They're buying like the connection they feel with you. So if they're feeling really connected to you, next time they're looking for someone for a website, you're going to be more top of mind because I've got a relationship with you. I've had this connection with you. So it elevates it rather than like, oh, let me just tell you all kinds of fanciful things. There we go. I can see how that all day coming.
Or why don't I egoically, aggrandize myself and always show up extremely beautiful and happy and always, enlightened and abundant and, and it's maybe it's, quote, easier to do that than to show up real. I find that sometimes being real, it can be painful.
Yeah, it's scary because you're vulnerable and you feel like, well, maybe nobody wants to hang out with me or love me or hire me. I've got issues. And if you start sharing about those things, that's our fear. What I find these days with social media, we've got a chance to actually turn that into a gift. Like, whoa, I really relate to your story.
Yeah. Yes, absolutely. And I do feel like what's wanting now is for us to be just, come together and help each other as much as we can and to be as real as possible and to consider, like, here's something that I always like to put out into the minds of people who are doing marketing. Because most of the time, the focus is on the final result which is the client that you're getting. And the thing is that most of that marketing is not resulting in a buy. Like maybe 1%, or yeah, and if you're amazing, it's more than that. But like, it depends on what medium, of course. But it's tiny, even if you're good, and it's 10%, right, of the time you send out a message, 10 out of 100 are going to reply to you or buy from you or whatever. Mm-hmm. But that's not usually the case. It's usually a lot, not that, right? So now you're thinking of all the thousands.
My God, you're amazing if you even get to 2%. Yeah.
Right. So then now you're talking about 98% of the messages. Now, even those that are received are not responded to all the time, right? You see a message, you drove by a billboard. Now, there's these billboards that we have for clover milk, and it's these happy cows, and it's funny actually. And when I'm driving by and they have these clever things and they're like little puns and cartoons, I laugh. And that, I think, is a service to humanity. Okay. That marketing. Okay. But so all those, I'm not necessarily buying clover. I do sometimes, but I'm not necessarily buying clover milk.
Yeah.
Most people seeing that sign aren't.
Yeah.
But there seems to be a sort of a consciousness of uplifting us as we're driving.
Right.
So I'm thinking, can I have a consciousness of uplifting those people and uplifting and empowering people who are never going to buy from me? Like, what if my marketing did that? Wouldn't my marketing be fulfilling my purpose in life? Mm-hmm. You know, so then when I say I want to write to people, I want to give them something. Like it doesn't, if I'm promoting an affiliate, like when I'm promoting this, for instance, then I'm coming from my heart of, you know, this is a great conversation. You definitely want to check this out. And Daniel's all this other podcast, because obviously he's got it dialed in on cool people that with new paradigms to share, right? It comes from my heart to say that. It doesn't have, you know, it doesn't. And the thing is, some people will read that and they won't take the action. So what can I say in that letter that maybe sparks something that they're going to think about, right? Whether they ever listen to this or not. That's where I want to go with it. And if I post something on a social media where maybe, I don't know, who knows now how many people see it, right? But let's say a few hundred people see it. What can that message do to those few hundred that see it, but only 5 clicked or responded or clicked like or commented on the thing? Mm-hmm. You know, you're not thinking about those people. Often we're like, how come only 5 have clicked like? But then there's 36 views. Who are those people? Mm-hmm. You know, well, there's people that got your message and they didn't take an action. But what did you do that helped them see it differently, to see their problem in a new light? That can cause a transformation among many people that you never even hear from. Now, isn't marketing a lot more fun? And if it isn't it fulfilling for you, and isn't it sustainable, because the energy that comes to you from doing something real is palatable.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and I know one of your specialties is, as we said in bio, you're working with out of the box people, spiritual entrepreneurs, mm-hmm. and everything. And there's so many things. I'm going to have a 2-hour podcast on this. We won't, but we could have a 2-hour podcast. There's so many things that you're just, man, there's so many things. That's why, another one too. We got to really talk about that. This is great. It's a great conversation. And so I feel like, so the things you're talking about, like with the funny puns and all that, and then you just naturally are like, wow, I feel good with this, with the energy of the people that create this milk. And so I'll buy their milk because it feels good. You know, it feels like the way that it's kind of, and then when you're talking about with email marketing, I wanted to talk about that because I do email marketing, and my experience of email marketing got to where I was so burned out, I quit all partnering with people with emails, more or less.
Oh yeah.
I barely was doing any. And then,
I can relate.
yeah. And then I also felt like I don't even know what to say to any people anymore, because the old Daniel was much more about just what's effective. What's effective? I mean, of course, with heart and all that, but like still, like, how do I actually get more results? That was more the focus. But as I've shifted from that to just really being connected from, I'm a channeler. I think most of the people listening are channelers. And when we just channel and download and feel from our heart and do our marketing, that's when I get the best response usually anyway. Like almost always. And so they're like, I really felt you in that last email. You know, those are the comments you get when you do that.
Yes.
You do those run of the mill just for effectiveness emails. They're not really feeling anything other than like, oh, I'm afraid I might die if I don't click on it. Like, I mean, is that what we want to keep creating? I mean,
really?
Yeah.
I mean, that's, I say, there's 3 reasons why marketing, what I consider the normal way, is sabotaging your business. That's one, you know, where this whole, like, you know, egoic need to, you know, to scare your people, you know, that it's terrible. It's the opposite of what you want to do, because that, I mean, you're supposed to be ending suffering. Imagine that there's 99 people out of 100 aren't even going to respond to you. You don't even know about them, and they're running around scared. Okay, thanks. Thanks for that letter, you know, and don't be surprised if they're unsubscribing when you send out your fear-based letters, you know. I was just advised recently by somebody to do that too. Now, I understand that there's like a sort of a system to this kind of thing, okay? They say you want to touch on their goal, you want to touch on their fear, you want to touch on their frustration, you want to, you know, touch on that you're the solution, and you want to take them to the land of, they even insist that that's always what happens in a sales conversation or a sales process. That's always what happens. I'm going to say that sometimes there's an electron is here, and then sometimes it's up here.
Right.
And it was here, and then it was over there. So let's say maybe if I share from the heart something that's really touching and actually causes a transformation in the people that are reading it, that they might put 2 and 2 together, because guess what? They're just as smart as you are, and say, wow, if I want what she's doing, she's actually the one, or he's the one, because obviously they're conscious.
Right.
Who wants to work with somebody that's unconscious? Well, not your conscious people, right? They got to work with somebody that's conscious, or somebody that understands it, because you can listen to them, isn't going to force them into some kind of a box where you have to do this exact thing that I did in order for me to know if you're going to be successful. And now you're repressing yourself and doing the exact thing I did for the rest of your life. Why did you get into business? You know, to repress your very essence? Well,
yeah, honestly, when I think about it, Julia, I'm just gonna jump in for a sec. It's like I got burned out with marketing because it wasn't as soul based as it needed to be. It's like I'm so just going through the motions, right? It's like it reminds me of that parallel sex, right? I'm just here, I'm just a body, I'm just going through the motions. It's like I'm not really interested. I mean, I'm not that interested. It just seems like something I'm supposed to do. And instead, it's like, okay, what is really wanting to come through me? I don't care if it makes logical sense anymore. It's just like what feels right. And that's what's dictating what I'm putting out there now.
So consider this. What we want to just do is get to nothing first.
Exactly.
So what's in the way are all the strategies and thoughts. Mm-hmm. And I know they keep coming up, and especially if you're smart and strategic and you're thinking, and if I do this, then this, and 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 I gotta have my little funnel thing, and it's gonna be and then that ought to be really already done. you know, and I do say that too. Well, that sales page ought to be already done before I call anyone. Do I really need a sales page when I'm calling somebody?
Right.
Actually, no. In the end, all I need to do is write down their credit card information when I've enrolled them in the program.
Right. I mean, it's so easy. Talk to somebody, get their credit card, get their payment, whatever. Let's move on.
Because this is what I've been doing because my sales page isn't ready. Because of all this fire evacuations and fathers dying and all this stuff, you know, the actual, you know, getting down to doing the sales page and then not really knowing what to put on it. Sometimes, you know, you're creating it and kind of like, oh, I'm being in the creative, but it's taking a long time. And I'm not telling my people, I'm not helping them right now, you know, in a sense. The person that's waiting for me to just write that letter is like, I don't care about your sales page. I'm over here, and for like 10 years, I haven't been able to express what I do in a way that makes me, you know, that makes me feel like whole, you know, that makes it clear to the other person why they care.
Well, Julie, let me ask you a question, and I want our listeners to think about this too. When's the last time you bought something based on the copy on a sales page? Because I think in the past it was much more successful for more people, but now it's like for me, I'm just like yeah, right? And I've always
I go right. No, you're exactly right. I go to the bottom.
It's always something deeper for me. That's where we need to come from. Is
totally
that place anyway? And what you're talking about evokes people, that connection from the deeper place with the people you want to engage with, so that they can just feel you. The fastest sales I've ever got is when people feel me. I have somebody agree to a big commitment, like in 2 minutes, if there's enough connection, and that was 2 minutes.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened to this client of mine. She was using this product, like for 10 years. She's like, I don't know what to say, because she's kind of woo, but her clients are kind of corporate. Mm-hmm. And she helps bridge those you know, she's bridging those worlds. And I gave her that permission to just kind of spill it. Mm-hmm. And then I just fed it back to her. And it was beautiful. And she was at she was at a party, and somebody says, what do you do? And she expresses what she does. And he says, oh, well, when can I hire you? And then she's over cocktails, you know, with some friends, and somebody says, what do you do? And she explains it in a different way that I taught her. Like, you could also say, hey, you could do it this way. She did that, and that woman had 4 executives that she needed. I need you to work with my 4 executives. So that's 5 clients in 2 minutes.
Wow.
Really. She was just having cocktails. It just was the effort of saying, this is actually meaningful words that came out of her mouth. And some of those words, you know, to get a little more into the, you know, the magical aspect of it, those words are like little magnets, and the words are the words that reflect your soul. So when you bring those words in, they tell your people, your soul tribe, oh, bing, you know, and I heard that word. I heard a word, and magical is one of my, you know, it's my key word, right?
Yeah.
And people have been telling me for almost 20 years now, oh, well, you know, that's why, you know, even Jana Van Zandt said it best when she told me after, I mean, it was just miraculous that she was calling me when I had written her name down 2 weeks before. And I said, you know, I wrote your name down. How do you call me? And she says, I saw that word magical next to that word marketing, and I had to click it. And I'm thinking, you know, how could you be a clearer, oh my gosh, you know, like, yes, from the universe that what you're doing works. You know, just take a word that reflects your soul and combine it with a word of something that you do or a result that you get, and it miraculously, it'll attract your soul tribe. Helps if you have beautiful graphics with it too.
Yes, which you're great at helping people with as well. So you've been touching on these three mistakes. I just wanted to make sure we cover these.
Three mistakes.
People make.
One is pretending to be normal. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what they tell you to do.
Yeah.
So that's how I'll say it to your tribe. The other way to say it is by hiding out or acting professional, right? One is, trying to be all like blueprinty, when you're really cutting edge, and no blueprint is that cutting edge. Okay. And then the third thing is smarmy, lying, fear-based, brainwash. Your people are way beyond that, and they're reading your mind. So like I have clients that tell me, I think you're stressing, when I just sent a few letters from for an affiliate, but I am stressing, and they saw it. And I'm thinking,
feel the
oh
energy.
I've got to really get to nothing before I send those affiliate letters too. I can't be sending those affiliate letters out and, okay, here's my, there's 3 things that I have to do right now. I can't be like that.
Yeah.
It does, because they're energetic people.
Yeah, they're going to feel that transmission then.
They totally do. I promise you, I have studied this. I have tested it. You cannot hide.
Yeah. I mean, you've been doing this for decades, marketing and so.
Sometimes they'll forgive you, Daniel. They'll be like, Daniel's a little stressed. I see that
they love you. It's
this letter that's not that great, but I know he's a real guy, and I'm gonna go click on it anyway. That's what they say. But
yeah. So anyway, I could go on and on for hours on, like I said, on marketing, and it's such a hot topic for me because it's something we're constantly doing. I mean, those of us that are spiritual rock star types and want to really make a big impact, there's a lot of marketing energy. Like I decided not to send out. I was going to create an email to be sent out tomorrow, and I felt all pressured and everything before we even got on. I'm like, oh, screw it. I'm just going to go do some Facebook Lives right now. I just can't be bothered with trying to come up with some emails right now. It feels pressured. It doesn't feel right. Where my flow just said do Facebook Lives. So I did some Facebook.
Yeah. Sometimes our mind gets in the way of what our intuition is telling us. Look, that just, whatever you can do to be, in alignment. If it feels like pressure, and if you have to do it and you cannot get to nothing, okay, you can try it, and it won't kill you. You send a letter, you're too uptight, you didn't get a good response. Oh well. It's not the end of the world.
You are completely unique. I mean, to me, I don't know anybody else that helps with websites and marketing that has this approach. I mean, I'm sure they exist, but I don't know any. And so I think that's incredible to be like, how about enlightened marketing? Actually, one person comes to mind, but they don't do websites. So it's like, so it's like your unique combination of things. And so it brings me to the next part of this segment of the show. I wanted to do briefly for a few minutes. What's coming. It's where I get a chance to love up on who you are and everything, and tune into your energy a little bit and share some of the awesome sauce you have to bring that you may not have actually talked about yet. So I wanted to share that. Can I do that for you?
Oh yeah, I'm right, looking forward to this part.
Okay, all right. Because this is my part of my thing, right? So, but so yeah, I mean, you're totally in tune with like what directions where things want to go. You've got your pulse on like, where does this thing really want to go from the person's soul? Like I see that in your energy. And one thing I always see, and I have to say it when I see in each person, is you really do, and I don't know how much of it you do yet, but you really have a signature of an energy healer too. You really do, big time. So, if you're not already bringing more of that, that's another conversation we can have, but I would bring more of that into your work. And I'm sure you do your magic. You're magical already, right? So you have the natural magic. That's part of it. It's like this energy, magician energy you have available to you is, I would say, like, just a feeling I get is like you could even lean into that more trust that power more is something I'm getting too. So with the energy of what you're feeling and sensing can be really profound and deep. I think like for me, like I talk the things I say, hey, do this, do that. They're all the things I'm giving myself advice for, right? So for
Right.
you, I feel like you do, like your energy does, like that's why you're in the practice of doing what you say, empty, get to nothing. Your head gets filled up. I see this, like the energy, like, oh, that happens. I see it in the energy, but it's like when you get in your flow, you have a way, like even some things you said during the show, like you touch people's souls like very rapidly when you're in that flow. And it's just like you just ask these simple questions, and like I was getting answers like, well, who are you born to help? And like normally my brain might want to start thinking about it, but the transmission of who you are instantly put me in a place of, oh, it's the spiritual rock stars, you know? It's like, of course, and the leaders, and even the top leaders in the world, and all that. I just feel it in my soul. I'm supposed to be doing this. My mind would say, oh, but what, you know, all that stuff. But I feel it in my soul. And I felt that right away when you asked that question. Whereas if I'm having a strategy session with someone, well, who do you work? Well, let's go through this big 30-step process. I'm going to be confused as hell by the time I'm done. Whereas you just,
I know.
simple
Alienating.
Yeah. So that's your gift, is these simple questions, the energy you come from within it. And, you know, you're an ass kicker for the truth. I mean, you won't stand for anything less ultimately. I mean, you're just like, no, what's the truth? What's the truth? And you've worked with some of my clients too. And I know they really appreciate, like, they're like, even the people, even though when they hire somebody, sometimes they drag their feet, right? But it's like you hold the compassion and the love and the like steel. So you bring all that into the mix, and you make sure that my feeling is you make sure that they follow through and that it happens ultimately. So you go above and beyond. You're not like, well, you gave us take it or leave it. You got your hours. Screw you. Like,
well, what's sort of amazing, Daniel, is that you know how the universe keeps like, you know, trying to tell you something.
Yeah.
So I had one mastermind where everyone there was basically lining up to thank me for being so patient with them. And then it kept happening. Okay. So then every time I had a session, they would start with, I want to thank you for being so patient with me. Yeah. And I was like, what's this? Why is everyone saying I'm so patient? Because I'm not like experiencing myself as patient with myself.
Right.
You know, but absolutely with you, if you need to take some time, you know, I need to like kind of put some things into place so that I'm protected in those circumstances.
Sure,
I realize.
Sure, boundaries. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because it can go on for years, you know, and all this extra work for no extra pay. So.
Absolutely. But I just see your ability, you know, your generosity, and of course it has limits, of course, just like I'm generous, but there's limits. So, but I just noticed that about you, and, you know, you got like that good witch energy, you know, like, you know, you may not like that in your branding here, but like, hey, it's just true. You got that like good witch. Oh, we're going to make that happen.
You know, I played Glinda the Good Witch in The Wiz.
Yes. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, makes sense. I mean, of course. And then you're very connected with the earth, like the fairy energy, the fairy realm, and the energy of the earth and nature. So that's a huge gift too, and bringing people into
this is a fairy one.
Yeah, bringing them into a grounded, calmer state when they're feeling very stressed and panicked, and then they feel like, I feel like everything's possible and could be much easier now that I'm working with Julia. So that's what I get for you.
I hope so. You know, I thank you. That's what what I really like to do is help people to see that it doesn't matter that the way they were trying to do things before didn't work, because it was the old paradigm for sure. It's very counterintuitive to say I'm going to share my heart in my marketing when everyone else is saying to lie. That's just the bottom line. And it feels like, it's risky, but it's the best risk.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be the good heretic, as we say, right? So you got to do
Right.
your thing. You can't just,
If you're not going to be you, then
yeah.
you'll never know if you are attracting your real tribe.
Yeah,
And not
exactly.
until you're you are they going to really come in one after the other and they're telling you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
I
know.
mean, that's such clear wisdom, such, like, I want to say, deep, true wisdom. And so where can people, I know you had some gifts for people. You have gifts. You have gifts.
I forgot again when I said I was going to give.
Oh yeah, I could tell them about, but you had the two gifts you wanted to give people. I want to make sure they take advantage of that.
Okay.
You've got your magical marketing toolkit, right?
Okay. So the magical marketing toolkit is, it includes the Soul Tribe Attraction Playbook and some videos that I did to help you create an attraction plan. What the attraction plan does is it helps you to start clarifying what's most important to you. So my aim with that is for you to forget about all your strategies and just start asking yourself, what are the qualities, characteristics, and attributes of my most perfect clients, my soul tribe? Like you said, your rock stars, the people that you're born to serve. And this isn't something that you can target. This is something that is from your heart. What's the point of attraction between you and them? What makes you and them tick? There's something in your heart that's in their heart. And when you can share that, then they're drawn to you from the heart. What is that? What do you want this whole situation, your business, to look like? And who are you being in the process? When you go through these simple questions, you just start losing your mind and coming into your heart, and it's a good thing. So that you can get at magicalmarketingtoolkit.com. Easy peasy. And it will, it'll guide you into that phase. And then if you want more, there's more to, like, now take your attraction plan or what you said was important to you and start developing your brand from there, your authentic brand message. And then from there, kind of what's your freebie and what's your funnel and all that kind of stuff. I feel like it comes out of this, desire to serve your ideal clients and to share what's most important to both you and to them. So that's the magical marketing toolkit.
Nice. And then you have even another free gift, which is amazing.
This is for people who have websites where you're like, I don't know. Fill in the blank. Right? I don't know what to do. I don't know if it's working. I don't know why people aren't responding. I don't know if this was really a reflection of who I am. And I do what I call a magical website analysis. And we do it, it's a flash review. I'm not going to go heavy deep into your whole business. We can do that later. But at least to give you a sense of what is blatantly wrong or what's blatantly right about your site. Sometimes there's something really right about them. And then what are your next steps? And that's, you can get at magicalwebsiteanalysis.com. And we'll get together and I'll review what you really wanted the website to do. And then I'll ask you some questions and look at the site together so that we can determine, does it just need a little updating? Is it fine? Is it really your brand that needs a little something? Maybe there's some writing that needs to happen, but that the design and the structure are fine. So whatever it is, you'll know what it is. And then I'll tell you how I can help you with that if you like to work with me and what that would cost and everything like that. So no pressure though, because of course you realize and I realize that we want to work together only when we're really aligned and it's the right timing and everything too. So I'm not really that into pressure, Of course, I want to do it, sooner better, I think. Let's get this done. I hate to see people struggling for too long when something could be, it doesn't take that long to solve the problem.
Listen, to get the analysis and get a lot of value to know what to change, even if you don't hire you, is valuable. So all your years of experience, you can get that for free at magicalwebsiteanalysis.com.
Well, here's what I know, Daniel, is that when I connect with your rock star people, it's going to be a great conversation no matter what, because I'm connecting with really, soulful people from around the world. That's part of my purpose. I'm going to do that no matter what. So I appreciate you having me on your show and encouraging your people to connect with me, because it's my greatest joy.
Absolutely. And the last thing on that last free gift is just make sure, just because I just says here that you're to mention my name, Daniel.
Yeah, put Daniel. Yep, say Daniel sent you.
Okay, all right. Okay, great. So thank you so much.
There's only one Daniel, so don't worry about spelling his last name. 2 N's or 1, or what is it?
Cool, the one and only, right? So,
one and only.
And then the last thing I'll just mention is, if people want to, along these lines, want to meditate and make money, get into that connection, learn how to get into more of that no mind, open up your chakras, let the downloads come in, go to yoursacredpurpose.com to pick that up for free. And there's also an opportunity to get some energy scanning from me. So check that out as well, if you'd like me to take a look at what's going on for you. So, and to move you into the next level of your rock stardom. Okay. All right. So thank you so much again, Julia. And I'm really it's so great to be with you again. It had been a while, and so I'm just so grateful for you, and I'm looking forward to hearing from everybody that connects with you. So, all right. So thank you so much. Much love.
Much love to you too.
Wow, what a pleasure to have you join us today. Thank you so much for listening to Spiritual Rockstar Podcast. Stay tuned for our next upcoming new episodes each Wednesday and Saturday. Please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review to help us to serve you best. As a reminder, you can get your free Meditate and Make Money meditation at www.yoursacredpurpose.com to rock your sacred purpose. Goodbye for now, everybody.